Welcome to the channel, everybody. So today we are going to get further in the Cavalier series here. As a matter of fact, we are going to be taking down the last level in Chapter 3 of Act 5, which will put us down to only 2 more chapters to go before we become Cavalier. Now, one thing I want to say before I start this, as always, the information is always solid. It is definitely good information. Sometimes my gameplay isn't always up to par. And as you will see in this one, I have been pushing massive amounts of overtime lately between work and the channel, and just trying to get as much of this out as possible because I want to get through these series, get them done, and get them out to you guys so that we can start getting some other things on the channel. I know there's a few things that I've been thinking about personally that I want to do for the channel, and some things that I've had requested from the community that I want to get out as well soon. But with that being said, I wanted to actually sit here and acknowledge that the gameplay in this one is not going to be necessarily my worst gameplay that you guys will ever see. I.e., go watch my Grandmaster fight if you want to see that. That's another one. Information's solid. It's a dry run. Had no clue what I was doing. Well, I had a clue what I was doing. I obviously studied up beforehand. Just didn't know what rhythm I needed. But with these ones, I'm pulling 14 and 16 hour days between the channel and work. And sometimes I need to remind myself to take a break. It's one of the things that the reason why I'm addressing is because it's something I want to remind the community. If you're getting frustrated or if you're not playing to your best, no matter how hard you're trying to push for that next title, no matter how close you are to the new deals or the new calendar or whatever it is that you have set yourself a goal of, remember that's your goal. Getting most of the way there and falling short and having to pick it up a little bit later than what you intended is not failure. But pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion or to the point where you're spending too many potions, revives, and units to do something just because you want to have it done by a certain time, or just because if you don't, you're going to miss out on the new calendar or whatever. Or even for something like this for myself, where it's not just about me, it's about the channel, it's about you guys. Sometimes taking a step back and taking a few nights to get some rest and, recouping and getting back into it when you have a clearer mind and when you are able to devote the time to it is a lot better than just frustrating yourself and spinning away because you're not doing yourself any good. Okay? That being said, I'm several videos ahead right now. We're just getting them edited and processed and ready. I have taken a few nights where I haven't put together any more levels. Or actually, on this account, we just started Act 6.1. And I've got the first couple levels of that done, so we're almost done with Cavalier and ready. So we'll have those continuously over the next few weeks. On the main account, we are sitting at Gwynmaster right now and getting ready to go take her down. That one, I know there's a lot of people that have talked to me that are excited to see how that one goes. So am I, to be truthful with you. But before I went ahead and pushed and actually did the final push towards becoming Cavalier and becoming Paragon, I needed to take a break and everything. Not that there's going to be any delay for you guys in any way, shape, or form. The videos are going to keep coming every day. But it was also that recognition of remembering that if I'm pushing this hard, some of you out there are too. And I hope that you guys take the advice and miss the calendar or miss the deals if you have to. if you're getting to the point where you're exhausting yourself, this game is going to burn you out hard. There is a massive amount of our community that have burnt themselves out and taken anywhere from 6 months to a year off. And there are other members of our community that burnt themselves out so far that we lost them from our community. They went ahead and moved on to other games or just other. That being said, let's go ahead and get into the video and actually talk about how to get you guys further if you are well rested, well hydrated, and ready to go ahead and move on. So, right off the bat here, like I said, we're going to go into 5.3.6. The whole Act 5.3 is based around the different classes. We've already been through every class except for one. So surprise, surprise, we got the science class this time. It's Split Atom is going to be your global node. All champions except for science get 50% base attack rate reduction. So basically what you're going to want to do is bring in your best science champions, use and possibly a good cosmic champion for the boss. You can do it with a science champion depending on who you're bringing in. There are some absolutely great options out there. This account has some of them. Unfortunately, they're not nearly leveled up enough to be doing what I'm used to being able to do with them. You'll see here, I don't even believe for this video I've even awakened Quake yet. I know I did recently. Yeah, I mean, I pushed up Hulk a little bit further. This could have went a little easier if we would have been a couple level ups down the road. Some of the other levels that are coming up here shortly in the series you'll see. But again, a little bit more rest, a little bit more leveled up champions. We could have walked through this a lot simpler. Again, guys, this is the path. It is the easiest way to go. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's get you guys through it. And then you guys can watch and help me Monday morning quarterback our way through this level, because we definitely made some mistakes. So right off the bat here, like I said, we brought in a pretty much solid science team. Quake, Overseer, and Hulk. You know, you definitely got the synergies there with Hulk and Overseer. Not that you're going to need it, because that's a inverted control immunity is the synergy there, so that's not a big deal. It's not going to help you, but at the same time, still, you know, these are my three biggest and best science champions on this account. And four biggest and best science champions on the account, and then also Captain Marvel movie, who most of you know I'm a huge fan of, and if I'm going to have a tech boss, that's how we're going to go. Right off the bat here, you can see the path is Ronan, King Groot, Gwenpool, Ultron, Angela, Captain America, Stark Enhanced Spidey, Civil Warrior, Loki, and Iceman. Then you're going to go over to Doc Ock is the mini boss. He's got increased combat power rating, heal prevention, his SP2 bias, and his SP2 is enhanced. So you're going to want to make sure that on that SP2 you're baiting out the SP1s if you can. He is going to get a little combative there, but also on top of that, keep in mind that you're not going to be able to heal up at all during the fight. So he's going to hit like a tank. Good cosmic champion. One of the strongest classes out there. The amount of champions that you can grab out of that class that will walk over both him and Goblin are ungodly, because it's probably one of the highest tiered classes. And that's not even talking about just Adam Warlock and Hercules. But I mean, there's so many others. Captain Marvel movie, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Gallon. The list goes on and on. There are plenty of good Cosmics champions in here. If not, and you have some great science champions, they're not going to be at a reduction of power, so you can go ahead and do it with them as well. So as you can see here, our final boss, of course, is going to be Goblin. He does have increased Incinerate, which, you know, considering how easily he puts Incinerate on you, that may be something to take into consideration if you have a Science or Cosmic Champion that are Incinerate immune. That is something to keep in mind. Obviously, someone like a Human Torch could take care of that for you. He has enhanced ability triggers. So obviously he's going to be trying to put that incinerate and things on you a lot more often. He has increased combat rating and increased regen, which again is another one of the things that makes Goblin a pain in the butt. He's not the worst champion to have to fight as a boss, but he is definitely one of those ones that if you struggle against him in any way, shape, or form, he can be an annoyance. As you'll see, we actually get through him fairly decently, considering what all we did throughout the level. But I'll talk about that more as we get through the gameplay here. So let's go ahead and take a look right off the bat and see how it went for us. So we brought in Hulk here against Ronan. Now, of course, this is a fairly straightforward fight, and if my Hulk was leveled up a little bit more, I think I could have walked through this in a single run, even with taking some of the damage that you'll see right off the bat here. We turn around and I get a good Hulk juggle going. I was a little rusty at the moment, and like I said, a little more tired than I should have been, so there was a few times that I backed off there that I could have probably finished him off without having to worry about it. But small little mistakes like that can make a huge difference, and so we ended up going ahead and bringing in Overseer. Now, Overseer I had recently gotten on this account, and I'd only used him for the synergy on my main account, so really barely used him whatsoever. You do see him come up a few times, like I said, in that fight against Grandmaster, but, I mean, as quickly as champions were going down in that one, like there was any time to really learn how to play a champion. So it was a bit of a struggle there, but we got through it. Now, this one is another mistake, and what happened here is we did bring in Captain Marvel movie, which we should not have had her in anywhere near this early, because this should have been still all our science champions. But as I was in the middle of recording this episode, I had a power outage. And so everything shut down on me outside of my phone, which obviously we just, luckily enough, we had just finished off the Ronin fight and we're just getting ready to start the King Groot fight, and it ended up totally like losing everything. So we had to go ahead and continue as soon as I went back into the game and continued with the having the recording ready and everything like that. Automatically Captain Marvel movie being one of the biggest champions on my team at that moment, she's automatically first choice, and I just wasn't thinking. I just clicked fight. So we went ahead and pretty much wasted her, and meant that we were going to have to use a revive that we shouldn't have had to use. So we came back in with Overseer here, and I started spending some time with the champion to be able to kind of get an idea how to play him a little better. This is, like I said, pretty much one of the very first times I've spent any real time with him. So we're doing pretty well with him, and he's going to carry a bit of the work here. I'm getting a feel for him. Did mess up here and pushed Gwynpool to the SP3 because it was just kind of getting into my rhythm, and that cost us overwhelmingly. So, of course, we ended up having to bring in Spider-Ham to finish it off. Took him over to the Ultron fight. Now, this one, I don't know. I don't think that this would have necessarily been our best fight by any means, and there are definitely better science champions that are suited better for this one. Somebody like a Luke Cage would definitely do a lot better against Ultron. Or even if we would have used this as an opportunity to get some charges on Captain Marvel movie early so that we had her charged up ahead of time. Obviously, we lose Spider-Ham there, but we are bringing Quake to finish it. Bring Quake over into Angela here, and she just dominates me to start off here. But at the same time, we still get quite a bit done. Even at 1% health, we were able to take her down to 50% health. So we just used a single 20% revive and figured I'd come in here and Hulk juggle Angela again. And we did it. But unfortunately, we'd taken so much damage that by the time we get over here to Captain America, we again are wounded. As you can see here, the entire team is exactly that. We're wounded. Um, I'm trying to run the rest of the path off of nothing but 20% revives, which was not the greatest of moves by any means. It does hurt us a few times here. We are able to do quite a bit of work. Obviously, I got a little too comfortable with the idea of trying to go after Hulk, just because I've really been enjoying him quite a bit over on the main account. But there's a huge difference between my awakened, uh, powered, rank 3 6-star Hulk and my unawakened rank 2 5-star Hulk. Um, Worlds of difference on what the two of them can do, and I should have more so just stuck with either Overseer or Quake. Luckily enough, even without being awakened and without being fully leveled up, Quake still is just so god tier that if you can play her well, she's going to do most of what you need to do. But we definitely have leveled her up some more since we did this level. Looking forward to using her quite a bit more. I absolutely love using Quake. Come over here into the Spider-Man fight with Overseer and got through that one fairly easy. Civil Warrior. Um, Again, this one is another one that, more often than not, this was fights where the mistakes were already made, and we're paying for them later on in a level. Again, this could have been a great opportunity to bring in Captain Marvel movie and get up some of her charges. I mean, she's not down at this point. You guys saw that, but with only 20% health, I'm thinking if I take her down again, then I got to revive her before the boss. And instead of just being smart about it and doing it anyways and getting the charges, I went ahead and let Overseer do the work and take him down and let him go as far as he could until he ran out of room. And then Spider Ham, same thing. We're able to get most of Loki down just between the two of them with next to no health. Partially because Loki, being a great champion, I played him so much. I know his moves. I can work around quite a bit of them. And then we tried to finish off Iceman with a very wounded Overseer there, and that clearly wasn't going to happen. Tried to do Hulk with almost no health. Again, that immediate frostbite. If you can't, it doesn't take much for him to eat up 20% health off of you. So turn around, and we actually finally did throw some potions into a champion before going in and got him most of the way down. But I didn't play the best at this point. Like I said, we're getting a lot of frustration, a lot of exhaustion going on by this point. This is why I talked about at the very beginning, this should have never been as much of a struggle as it was. Obviously we let Spider-Ham finish off there, and then at this point, fully heal up Captain Marvel movie, bring her in against Doc Ock, and let's get our charges built up, or at least that's the plan. We are going to get through Doc Ock here without a problem. The only downside is he's going to catch me just the right way, and I'm going to ignite my binary charges right there. So all the charges that I'm saving up trying to have for Goblin just got eaten up by Doc Ock, so I'm going in here cold against Goblin, whereas that I was hoping to come in here with at least 15 to 20 charges so that I could just quickly parry a couple times, build up to the SP3, and just dominate him. But again, the plan can be one thing. Doesn't mean you have failed. It just means that you had to find a different route because you weren't planning on the pitfalls. We get him almost all the way down here, and we get caught a few times, and it's just a little too much for us. But of course, we've already revived Spider-Ham for that last fight against Iceman there. So, we had him waiting in the wings, didn't have to use yet another revive, so that was a good thing. This one is not the cleanest run, like I said, guys, but honestly, I hope this just does show you that it is possible, even when you make a few mistakes, even on a level that you shouldn't necessarily feel like that you needed to use up that much resources, that you can still get in there, get it done, get it taken care of, and get on to that next progression. But if you guys are starting to make those mistakes, if you're starting to slip up, it's a couple things. It's either A, you need a little bit of rest. B, you need your champions powered up a little bit more, uh, be it by actually leveling them up or throwing on some boosts. Or C, you need to relook at your team. All of these are possible. Take them into consideration. Do not get discouraged. Do not feel like that you guys can't do this. Trust me, my backup account is nowhere near as big as my main account, and we're still pushing through just fine. The main account is god tier stacked, but at the same time, my skill level is still nowhere near what my roster is. There are so many scenarios out there, and you can see so many people do perfect runs. Those are easy to find out there on YouTube, trust me. But that doesn't mean that just because you're not perfect that you can't make it. Just keep pushing, keep going, take your rest when you need them, power up when you need them, find your resources, make sure your masteries are set right, and I will see you back for the next one. Peace out.